right, what's going on? What I'm going to be covering in this video here is going over the email design masterclass for Klaviyo. And yeah, let's dive right in. So if you're running an e-commerce brand, you need to read this document. And the reason why is because obviously you could see the before and after screenshots of the results of having your email design dialed in. 42,000 before to 140,000 per month from Klaviyo. So good email design obviously is very important for maximizing conversion rate and having a great user experience. However, most of the email designs that I see brands making are very bad. I've signed up for a lot of different brands' email lists, and I get them to my email and they're quite terrible. So I see them all making the same basic mistakes. So in this training, I'm going to show you how to design emails to maximize sales, deliverability, and customer experience, even if you're a complete beginner. All right, so what I'm going to show you here is better than any course, and believe me, I've watched pretty much all the YouTube videos and all the courses about email design that I could find. And what I'm going to show you here is 100% actionable without any fluff, and includes a massive library full of our best email designs, which you'll get access to towards the end of this video here. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Max Alexander. I'm the founder of Skyro Digital, which is a retention marketing agency that manages 40 plus brands and is also in the top 1% in the world at email design. As proof, here's what our clients have to say about it. Yeah, pretty solid social proof there. And part one, email design structure. All right, so before we get into the actual aesthetics of it, how do we actually set it up? Like, what components do we need in each email? All right, so first off, here's the swipe file of our email designs. You'll be able to use this as inspiration or templates for your own brand. So to edit or download these templates, what you need to do is follow the instructions here. Log into your Figma account, open this file here in Figma. At the top of the screen, click the file name to open the file in the menu, and then select duplicate to drafts. You'll be able to edit things and duplicate things within it and all that stuff. So, all right, getting into the actual content here. So the email design structure. So this is going to vary from, depending on what you're using the email for, but all of them are going to share certain elements in common. So number one is the logo, obviously. You want to superimpose that onto the hero image. And then the hero image. So this is actually the most important part of the email, which I'll get into later, but needs to contain the offer plus call to action here. Body text, and this is going to be context dependent. For example, welcome email 1, you're obviously going to need to explain the brand more than, a sale follow-up email where it could be shorter like this one right here. And then at the bottom below the body text, you're going to want to restate the offer plus the call to action. And then below that, you're going to want to add in some supporting content. Now, this is more optional. Of course, you're going to want to A/B test it, but in most cases, it's going to increase the conversion rate of the email. So that could include social proof, risk reversals, buy now, pay later, that sort of stuff. All right, email design structure. All right, so this is the highest performing email design structure, resulting from thousands of A/B tests. And every email that you make should roughly follow this structure. So the important components that I already covered right here in the previous slide. Now, the most important element, as I was talking about, is by far the hero image. So this is where most of your time and attention should be going to, and it should include all the important elements that I laid out. What is the email about? What is the offer? Call to action above the fold, which I'll get into here. So the hero image should follow these guidelines. So the main message, offer if applicable, and call to action button are superimposed onto it. It needs to be above the fold, all right? So the reason why is because when people open their phones, most people read their emails on mobile. A good segment of those people aren't going to actually be scrolling down. So you want to communicate everything important and everything that they need to take, the desired action, which in most cases is buying our product. You want to include all that info above the fold in as concise a manner as possible. So main headline should be 1 to 2 lines and contain 5 words or less ideally. Call to action should be contrasting color and bigger, generally leads to higher call to action or higher click-through rate, which is what you want. All right, body text. The body text should follow these guidelines. All right, so keep it concise. Make the text with live blocks on Klaviyo to maximize deliverability. And here's an example right here. Basically explains everything that you need to know about the product within a couple sentences. You see a lot of brands that write full essays Generally, that's not going to work that well. All right, so keep it concise in most cases. And then below the body text, you're going to want to restate the offer plus the call to action button. And here's an example from one of our designs. Below the body text, all right, this gives a second opportunity to convert the people who read to the bottom of your email. So you have one call to action at the top, and then give them more context with the body text. And then below that, you're going to want to restate the offer plus give them this call to action button right here. All right, the supporting content. All right, so at the bottom of the email below the call to action button, you're going to want to put the supporting content, all right, including things like customer reviews, press mentions, risk reversals, unique selling points, buy now, pay later. Anything that potentially will increase the conversion rate by lowering their perceived risk and increasing the perceived quality of the product, all right? And this is going to convert people who are sort of actively on the fence. Like they're interested, but they're not 100% sure. And I gave some examples right here. Let's see if we could zoom in. All right, so social proof, unique selling points about the products, like what problems they actually solve. All right, moving on. Designing in Figma. All right, so first off, how to design the emails in Figma. Let's dive into this actual content here. All right, so what I'm going to be doing in this video here is walking you through step by step how to set up all of the main design elements that you're going to be using in all of your emails. Okay, so on the on this example here on the left, all right, this is fancier than what you're going to need for 99% of the brand. So I'm just going to be showing you all the basic stuff. I'll show you a little bit in terms of like, the more advanced elements, like how we actually put this together. But for the most part, like you're not going to need that. But yeah, so when you're starting off any email design here in Figma, what you're going to want to do is set up a frame. So go over here and then just make it sort of in this rectangular sort of shape. And then what you're going to want to do here is go over to the width and change it to 1200. That is the optimal width for Klaviyo emails, because if you make it too big, then it doesn't let you upload it. If you make it too small, then it's going to look, really, really terrible. So 1200. And then what we're going to want to do here is make the hero image. All right. So a lot of the imagery is going to, come from, your brand's asset folder. That's where most of our imagery comes from, is the client's asset folder or the website or whatever. For every email, you're going to need, a hero image. So typically that's going to involve, like a person wearing the actual jewelry or whatever. So in this case, this would be provided by the brand. So I'm just going to copy and paste that over. All right, next most important element is going to be the logo. So you actually want to include that in the hero image. And the reason why is because if you try to use the logo block in Klaviyo, that causes a bunch of problems like on mobile. So a lot of people are going to be using dark mode on mobile. And if you use the logo blocks from Klaviyo, then it's going to, stretch it out on mobile and make it look terrible. Also on dark mode, like sometimes it messes with the colors and whatnot. Basically, the best way to deal with that is to just make it part of the hero image as a sort of PNG or JPEG, right? And this all gets uploaded to Klaviyo as one block, which I'll get to that later. But all right, so every hero image is going to need a headline and a subheadline. I mean, you don't necessarily need a subheadline, but you're going to use it on a lot of emails to convey sort of additional details. But the main sort of message of the email is going to be the headline, which in this case is new in. All right. Basically, what we're communicating on this one is we have new products, obviously. All right. So how you do that, you just set up this text block right here, type it in, and then in this case, you can play around with the different fonts here. You can download different fonts off of Google, etc. But in this case, we're going to go with this one. And this one you can play around with if you want it in regular or bold. And then what you want to do to make this bigger, like it is here on the left, we're just going to change the size, which is going to be this one right here. All right. So we're going to put that there. And then this one, the sub headline, so earrings that can't be missed. Let's make that real quick. All right, this looks terrible. So, all right, you already know how to basically make the text, but I'm just going to duplicate this over. All right. And that's our hero image. And these are more advanced elements, but something to keep in mind is you typically want to have transitions so that it doesn't just look like, like this. Like this is obviously made in a block editor. And just an easy way to make it look more professional is having these transitions. All right. All right. And then and again, you don't need these for the vast majority of emails, but if you want to get more fancy with it, you could put these images sort of in the background. So that's how we made that. All right. And we want to make this go behind the model's face. So what you're going to want to do here is right click and then let's see, send it backwards or not all the way back. Let's see here. Oh, well, yeah, I guess we're sending it to the back. And what we're going to do here is select this and then send this to the back and then boom. All right. And then this one right here, this is just another image that we're going to overlay over the hero image. We're going to send this one to the back as well. All right. And then send this one. All right, boom. There you go. All right, so that's how we got that. Um, all right, so that is the hero image. That's where 90% of your design effort should be going. And to be honest, the rest of the email could just be like text blocks in Klaviyo. And the reason that we set this up in Figma is just to sort of give a visual example of what the email, like the end product should look like. But a lot of these are going to be built in Klaviyo, which I'll show you how to do in a separate video. But yeah, this would just be Klaviyo text blocks. But this one would be an image. All right, so you would upload this section right here. This is just an image that we got from the client's websites or the asset folder. And then this one right here, I've already showed you how to set up the background images here. And this is just a text block with some fancy font text block right here. All right, let me show you how to set up these CTA buttons. All right, so essentially those are just rectangles. So let me copy paste this one over. All right, so here, just gonna make a rectangle like this, and then change the color. Use this dropper tool if you want to, use a separate color, or you could just pick whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. And then this is basically just a text block. All right. And again, this is just for a visual reference for when we build it out in Klaviyo, but when it's built out in Klaviyo, it's better to use the Klaviyo button blocks for this purpose. All right, and one more thing, because this is pretty popular for people to do, is the radius. All right, so this basically makes it from, this straight 90-degree angles here on the call to action buttons. And then we're just going to make it round here on the corners. All right, so that's how you do that. It's this button right here. All right. And sort of as a side tip, you want the buttons on the emails to match the buttons on the website, right? Because people are used to clicking on those, all right? So that's how you do the buttons there. And yeah, all right. So that's most of it. And then let's see here. So frame, logo, hero image, text, CTA buttons. Let me show you how to do gradients. And what that looks like is basically like this. All right. How do we get one color to sort of gradually fade into this background color? So let me show you how to do that. All right, what you're going to want to do here is pick a shape. In this case, I'm going to be doing the rectangle. All right. And I'm going to make this one white. And then what you're going to want to do is when you click on this color here, this fill button, you're going to click on this thing right here. All right. And then this bottom color here is going to be the gradient color. All right, so in this case, let's do blue here. All right, there we go. And then, all right, we're going to want to play around with like how intense of a gradient it is. All right, so what you can do is make it more transparent so it's more gradual, or you could drag this one down. All right, and that basically just like lowers the area where it's sort of fading into the gradient color. Um, And then yeah, that's how you do that. Let me bring that over here to compare. All right. Yeah. And then all of this stuff, these are all just images that you superimpose onto this block. All right, so those are the five main design elements that you're going to need to make emails in Figma. All right, and as you can see right here, you can put together pretty complex email designs using those five elements sort of as building blocks. You know, like even though this looks kind of fancy, like it's really just image blocks, text blocks, you know, stacked in different orders, you know, basically sending some of these images towards the back, etc. All right, next is now that you know how to do all the basic elements in Figma, here's how to design the emails in Figma, sort of the more advanced concepts to make them professional level quality and make them aesthetically pleasing, obviously. Before you start designing, you need to sort of begin with the end in mind. Like, what sort of purpose are we creating this email for? Sale promotion, new products, informational, etc. You don't want to do this in reverse where you just start designing it and it's like, oh, you know what? I think this should be a sales email. You don't want to do that. Number two, start with a hero image design. This will give you the direction for the rest of the email. So we're basically building the rest of the email around the hero image. So number one, obviously choose a high quality image from the brand asset folder. In this case, we're featuring a woman since it's Mother's Day. Also has nice colorful tones for this occasion. So this is what we're starting with. Number two, add the headline and make sure to highlight the main idea. You know, in this case, Mother's Day, our pick of best presents, basically. So gift guide, and you want to potentially split the fonts between each line here to make it more sort of dynamic and to highlight specific things. So Mother's Day is the one that obviously stands out here. And then what you want to do is add design elements to the hero image if needed and make sure they work with the brand style. So this is going to be sort of brand dependent, but in this case, we added, you know, sparkles, and then we added this ripped paper effect, right? All right, and then what you're going to want to do is add the body copy headlines and the rest of the products to be highlighted in the email. Make sure the body copy is good size and clear fonts, obviously, so it's easy to read. You know, I see some brands where they put super fancy font, but it's difficult to read. So you want to avoid that. The main thing you want to focus on is making sure that it's readable. Otherwise, the whole point, like, there's no point to putting any text because no one's going to read it. So as you can see right here, very clear to read. For the rest of the email, we're going to keep similar elements to the main image. So ripped paper effect and stars. So the only thing that the brand actually gave us in this case was the product images. So we added this sort of Polaroid frame, stars, ripped paper effect, and then of course the text is obviously clear. Keep the same body copy size for each product description and try to keep the call to action button centered so that it looks clickable. Also, it's important that it catches your eye by using a contrasting color. All right, that's going to boost the click-through rates. All right, you don't want to make it like I see some brands where you know the CTA button sort of blends in with the background. So for instance, this one has a sort of gray background. That's like if I put a gray CTA button. Like no one's going to see it. A lot less people are going to click and a lot less people are going to buy your product. So obviously you want to make it stand out. All right, phase two here. So another way of keeping each category or product dynamic is playing around with removing the image's background. So as you can see right here, this is sort of the original photo that the brand gave us. And here's the actual product images. So you're going to have product images, you're going to have lifestyle images, which is sort of like a model wearing the product. And this is just a creative way to combine both and to highlight the products and what it would look like on an actual person. So that's what we did here. Just remove the background, overlay it on top of the lifestyle image, and of course, keep the same elements from the previous steps. You know, these stars, and then product title. All right, using different photo sizes helps with making the email visually interesting. You know, also adding textures, elements, and icons so that they want to keep reading the email. All right, so a big part of this is you want to, a big sort of thing that we're trying to do here is keep the reader's attention so that, you know, they sort of build up in their head them wanting to buy it, they're imagining them wearing the product and basically selling themselves on the product. So to do that, we need to keep their attention, and part of that is going to make it visually interesting. All right, so in this case, we're playing around with the size of the different products rather than just making them both the same size, like side by side, which is what a lot of brands do. So you don't want to do that. All right, and then finally, you want to use different colors and textures for each section so that the reader can recognize each particular product that you are referring to. All right, so in this case, a lot of the same sort of design elements as the previous emails, but as you can see right here, it's light blue. All right, so look how this sort of looks when it's all put together. All right, so each product section follows the same sort of visual, has the same visual elements. There's some differences with like the Polaroid frame versus, removing the product background. But the thing to keep in mind here is that you could easily sort of differentiate each product section here by the color. So we have the white background, light gray background, blue background, white background, essentially. And that's important because, I see a lot of brands where they'll just have where they're trying to promote a lot of products and then it's product image, product description, CTA, and you don't really know which, like it's not immediately intuitive which section, each description belongs to. So this is a way of sort of separating those in a way that's aesthetically pleasing. So here's the final result of the email. I'm just going to scroll from the top to the bottom here. So as you can see right here, we added a few elements like the fonts, sparkles, etc., ripped paper effect, and then body text, product section 1, and then all these product sections here. All right. Part 3, building it in Klaviyo. All right, so what I'm going to show you here is how to basically take the completed design from Figma and then upload it to use it in Klaviyo. All right, so what I'm going to do in this video here is show you how to migrate the emails that you've designed in Figma, how to migrate them from Figma into Klaviyo, and so how to sort of set it up as a real template that you can then use as a, campaign or flow or, whatever. All right, so all right, so you should have already completed the design here in Figma, and you should have used a frame that sort of houses all of these layers here. So what you're going to want to do is divide the email into a few sections. All right, so taking a look at this one, you're going to have the hero image and the logo. That's all going to be one section. And then the text, you're actually not going to transfer that into Klaviyo. You're going to be building that in Klaviyo with the actual text blocks. And then this one's going to be an image. This one's going to be an image. This one's going to be an image. These are all separate because they all lead to separate products. And then the text you're going to transfer, or you're not going to transfer over. You're going to make that in Klaviyo. And the button down here, you're going to make that in Klaviyo. All right, so how do you actually transfer it? So what you're going to want to do is in Figma, go here and then select the slice tool. All right, so you're going to take this and you're going to create slice number 1. Okay, and then over here on the right, you're going to export it. All right, and then that's going to download to your PC, and you're going to do that for all of these. All right, so same thing here. Let me just sort of illustrate. All right, so that's one slice, and you would export that, and then this one right here. All right, so pretty self-explanatory. So once you're done with those, you're then going to go over to Klaviyo, and then you're going to go to templates. All right, and then you're going to, well, I guess you don't really need to go to save templates, but you would click create blank email. All right, and now I'm just going to delete this one here. So you should have this sort of empty email. What you're going to do is drag over the image. All right, and then we're going to select an image that we downloaded. All right, so in this case, it would be this one. All right, boom. So once that's uploaded, what you're going to want to do is fill out the alt text, right? And basically, what that does is it basically gives text to before the image has loaded, or on desktop. They hover their mouse over the image and some text is going to appear. That's going to be the alt text. So what we're going to do here is basically just describe this. You could call it like hero image, or you could put like the actual text of the hero image. Doesn't really matter too much. New in earrings. All right. Main thing is the link address. All right. That's basically where the email is going to link to once you click it. All right. So that's basically our landing page. All right. So what I'm going to do here is type in, or I'm going to copy paste the landing page. And for you, it might be, a certain product page, might be the bestsellers page, but for this case, I'm just going to put the home page. All right. So that's done. All right. So that is the hero image. Now let me show you how to do the next section, which is the text. All right. So essentially, we're just going to take this text block. We're going to drag it over here. All right. And now Klaviyo had this update where you gotta double click it and edit it over here. Previously, it used to be here, but don't worry about that too much. Okay, so we're excited to introduce our new earrings. Let's just put that. We're excited to announce our new drop earrings. All right. So what you can do from here is you can then change the font, change the the how do you say alignments. All right. Um, but other than that, all right, so next one is going to be an image. So let's go over here. All right, we're going to upload our next image, which is going to be this one. All right, and then this one here, you're just going to do the same exact thing, put in your alt text. So of the Pink's Dangle drop earring. And then you're just going to do that for all sections, all the image sections, right? All right, so we have all of our images here. We have our hero image, we have our text, and let's see what else we got. All right, so down here we have this text, and then we have this button block. So let me show you how to set that up. So more text here. All right, just type in whatever you're going to type in. These earrings are designed to be noticed. All right, so let's just put that. These earrings are designed to be noticed. All right. And the last part is the button. So that's going to be this button block over here. So drag that down here. Let's delete these social links just to make it look better. All right. So color's obviously off. And there's a few things that are off. So number one, the rounding of the corners, that's going to be this radius here. If you don't want any rounding, you want it to be perfect 90-degree angles, which for this brand it is. You're just going to make this 0. Over here, we're going to need to change the color. So you're going to go into Figma, select this, select the color, and then just copy and paste this hex code right here. All right. Let's paste that in. Boom. All right. And now the text needs to be black. Whoops. All right. Now it's black. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, obviously we need to change the font here. So that's going to be this one here. Let's go with this one for now. All right, so now we have our button. Also, if you want to put space, that's going to be this spacer block here, and then you could decide how many of these you want, or you could just like increase the size, like this one right here. Let's make it like 80. All right, and then this one also, to add more space, that's going to be the padding top and bottom. So let's put 40 there. See what that looks like. All right, so that's going to space things out. All right, so this one needs to be centered. So what we're going to do here is text alignment. All right, boom. Font size is pretty small, so we can increase that. So let's say, what, 18? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Boom. Let's see what else we're missing here. And then this one, let's go up here and see what that looks like. All right, so yeah, we can make the font bigger. And then padding again, that's gonna be 40. All right, so oh, and also, yeah, make sure to, change the link address here to the landing page that you want. And then what you're going to want to do when you think it's all, it all looks good, go here to preview and test. And most important, obviously you want it to look good on desktop, but most important is going to be mobile for most stores. All right, so now this is optional, but personally, I find this border here to be kind of ugly. So how you're going to fix that is you're going to go here. All right, go to the main sort of page here, go to styles, and then let's see, margin. What's this one? You want to change it to 0. All right, so we're gonna go here. Let's check the mobile again. All right, boom. And now we don't have that border anymore, and now it just looks pretty solid. All right, so that's that is how you migrate the designs from Figma to Klaviyo. All right, now that you know basically what the email structure should look like and how to actually assemble it in Figma, here's the step-by-step action plan to put it all together. And step one, essentially what you're going to want to do is start with this swipe file that I gave you at the beginning of this video. Use it as inspiration for your own designs, or just duplicate it and use them as templates that you can edit for your own brand. Step two, you're going to want to open Figma, make an account if you haven't already, and start your first email design by following these instructions right here towards the beginning of this video again. And this will give you all the main building blocks that you need to make all the core elements of every email. So that's going to be the hero image, headline, call to action buttons, body text, etc. Step three, while making your design, follow the email design structure explained, earlier on in this video here. This will give you all the info you need to correctly arrange the elements that you learned in the previous step. Step four, once you have your email set up and structured correctly, watch this video to learn the advanced design elements, right? This will basically teach you how to turn your emails from sort of decent looking to excellent quality by focusing primarily on the hero image, which again is the most important part of each email. And you're going to want to skip the first part of the video because it just goes over the email structure again, which you already have. Step five, once you've implemented some of the advanced design elements from the previous step, you're going to want to open up the swipe file from this step and see if you can find any design ideas or elements that you can use to improve your email design even further. All right, so you already opened it in the first step, but now that you've created your first draft of your email design, you're going to want to compare it against this one, and you're probably going to have a better eye for different things that we use to make it look better. So continue taking the ideas and using the swipe file as feedback every time you make a new design in order to continue improving your design skills over time. All right, so a lot of it is just giving it your best attempt. And then once you've completed, your latest email design, comparing it against, some of the stuff that we've created in our swipe file, getting some ideas from that and basically using that as your feedback loop. And that's all for this video here. All right, so again, if you want access to our swipe file of email designs that you could use for your own brand, put the link to this doc in the description. So just, download that, go to this slide here, and then the link will be right here. And yeah, if you implement everything that I gave you in this video here, you're going to be 80% of the way to maximizing your email conversions through having this top tier email design. And if you want to check out more advanced design techniques that we use at our agency, check out this video right here.